Good morning, everyone. It's Yoga 10. 10. Wow, can you believe it? I haven't recorded for a couple of weeks, and I've missed communicating with you. So today, we're going to work on a breathing strategy that really isn't a yoga breathing pranayama per se, but it is a specific way to use the breath to develop the muscles of the core. So before we begin that work, let's just do some regular, if there's any such thing as regular, let's do some yoga breathing. So breathe into your belly, into your chest, and into your upper body. And exhale. Again. I feel lighter already, do you? Inhale. One more time. In yoga, we are always encouraging ourselves to breathe fully into the complete torso, into the lower belly, into the side body, and to the upper chest, widening across the collarbone, and also breathing into the back, actually. So let's try a long breath, and with our focus on breathing into the back. And exhale. Let's try breathing with intention of really filling up the side body. In this next exercise, I'm going to change the cross of my legs. Maybe you'd like to too. We've been sitting this way for a while. I could also encourage you to lie on your back if you want. This set could be carried out on the back. Now, we have three primary muscles that we frequently talk about in the core. And excuse me. The rectus abdominis, which is what some people work on to get a six-pack, which of course is not what we want because it causes a separation in the muscles. We also talk about the obliques, the external and internal obliques, and we talk about the transverse abdominals. In this exercise, we're going to use the breath to build those muscles, and we're going to breathe in a way that is not common to our yoga practice. We're going to begin by bringing, you've heard people say, on the inhale, expand the belly. On the exhale, bring the belly button to the spine. Well, we're going to attempt to bring the belly button toward the spine as we do, say, 6 rounds of breath, holding it there but continuing to breathe. This is going to build strength in the rectus abdominis. So begin, bring the belly button to the spine, and 6 rounds of breath. Inhale, exhale, continue on your own. Maintain that sensation of belly button pulled to spine. Now let's return to normal breath and the normal body position. So just breathe as you usually do, and recovering from that awkward kind of holding the belly button in while you breathe. And do several rounds of breath as you relax. Relax the shoulders. Yeah. And when you feel like you're back to normal, you're caught up a little bit with feeling stable, let's try bringing the lower belly in to the spine. Now, we sometimes in yoga bring the lower belly in, lift it up under the belly button and under the ribs. This time we'll just bring the lower belly in. We're going to hold it in as we do another 6 rounds of breath. So bring the lower belly back toward the sacrum. Good. And breathe. This is really working the obliques. And now relax. So building that core is going to help with digestion. It's going to help with the working of all of those organs in the belly. It's going to give us strength. It's going to give strength to the back, and not only to the core, but the back is really part of the core. The core is much more than just their six-pack. Now, to work the transverse abdominals, we're going to inhale the side body in toward the center. And keeping that side body pulling in toward the center, let's do 6 rounds of breath. Side body in toward center. And relax. I suspect that tomorrow we will feel that. We'll feel some strain or stress and some muscles that we don't usually engage like we just did. And let's circle the spine. Come to upright and bring the legs out in front of you. Shake them out. They've been crossed for a long time. And you're probably feeling it, maybe in the knees, maybe someplace else. Good. Let's cross the legs in the opposite way, the unhabitual way. Yeah. And circle the spine. Last time we went, I don't know, well, let's go the opposite way. Circle the spine. Maybe bigger circles. Waking up the spine, waking up the energy that's coiled at the tailbone, bringing it up the spine, through the chakras, energizing ourselves, knowing that we are alive and that we are grateful to be alive. We're not only grateful, we're happy. And we can find gratitude and happiness in many places every day if we just stop and notice. Let's bring the legs out in front. Maybe you'll remove the blanket, maybe not. Sitting up on the sits bones. My legs are out straight in front of me. Hands are at the hips. Pressing into the back of the body, pressing into all of the area, surface of the back of the legs that's touching the earth. Now, as we do that, with hands at hips, we're going to engage the belly by pulling the lower belly in and up under the ribs. Back is straight, and our chin is tucked. Now, if we fully engage the backs of the legs, if we sit up right, bring the belly in, tuck the chin a little to lengthen the back of the neck, lift up through the crown of the head. Wow, that, my friends, requires some work. Great, good. Dandasana, staff pose. It's also a wonderful pose for working the core. So let's bring the soles of the feet together in Baddha Konasana, cobbler's pose. I'm going to use the strength of my arms and my leverage by holding onto the ankles to lift myself really upright, long spine, shoulders back, knees toward the mat, and breathe. Here again, another good core exercise. One more round of breath. Okay, let's flutter like a butterfly. Now, if you have some tightness in the thighs or in the hamstrings and the glutes today, opening the hips a little bit. Yeah, great. Good job. Okay, coming to hands and knees. There's another thing that we can do with, there's another posture that we can do to strengthen the core. So let's, there's lots of postures we can do to strengthen the core. Let's just bring the toes together, knees apart. Push back into child's pose, Phalakasana. Oh yeah, stretch the arms out and bring the forehead to the mat. We're still warming up here. We warm up the muscles. We bring warm air into the body. Warms up the muscles and allows them to stretch, allows the body to be a little more flexible. Okay, good. And coming into table. Hands under shoulders. Fingers are broad. Fingers are wide apart. Press into the mat with the pads of all of your fingers, especially your index finger and thumb. And lower down. Exhale up. Feel the deliciousness. Oh, as we give that vertebra each vertebra an opportunity to move in sequence, rejoicing in the flexibility and the strength that the spine provides. Being grateful, being happy. And come to neutral. Tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. Think about the lowering, when you lowered the ribs toward the earth in cow pose. Well, let's bring the ribs and the heart toward the earth and back toward the thighs. Bend one knee and then the other knee. Waking up this beautiful body that we have that carries us through our days and through our lives. Come up on tiptoes. Get those sits bones as high as you can. Now lower down. Lengthen. Create as much length as possible, and beginning at the hip joint, all the way through the side body, through the underarms, through the fingers, tips. Whoa, that feels good. Raise one leg. Maybe you want to bend it and allow that foot to dangle over the side. Maybe circle the ankles and come back. Let's raise the other leg. Bend the knee. Let it dangle over the side. Rotate the ankles. Try to maintain level shoulders, keeping the weight evenly on both hands, even though the hips and the torso is twisting toward the side. And bring that leg back down. Good. Bring the knees to the mat. Push back. Child's pose. Back to hands and knees. Whoa, step the left foot forward. Step the right foot to meet it. Uttanasana. Halfway up with a long, long spine, stretching from tailbone through the crown of the head. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms broad and wide. A reverse swan dive. Inhale, hands overhead. And hands to heart. Bring the hands, arms alongside the body. We're going to externally rotate the arms so the eyes of the elbows are facing forward. Press into the four corners of the sole of the foot. Notice what happens when the arches come up. Kneecaps rise, thighs engage. Tuck the tailbone under, lift the pubis. Pull the lower belly in and up under the belly button. Relax the arms. Lift through the crown of the head, but tuck the chin slightly, long neck. Lower the shoulders. Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, arms overhead. Baby fingers toward each other. Slight back bend or big one, however you're feeling. Exhale, keeping the arms alongside the ears with a flat back, coming to forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway up, long back. Exhale, forward fold. Step the right foot back and you have a choice here. Bring the right knee to the mat or not. Find balance. You could come into Asana like this, or you could come into a lunge pose. Arms are overhead. Keep breathing, engage the belly. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step the front foot back. We're in plank pose. Now, lower your knees just for a moment. We're going to come back to that plank. But this is another core exercise that you may find helpful. Now, we have often extended one arm and one leg from table, opposite arm, opposite leg in table. Let's see, how it goes to do that from plank. So here we are in plank, and we're going to extend one arm and one leg. Woo! Woohoo! That is tough, tough, tough. Don't tell me I need to practice that more. All right, let's try it on the other side. So back into, we're going to either come from plank or we're going to come from table. From table, it's going to look like this. And from plank, it's going to look like this. Whoa. And come back to hands and knees, toes together, knees apart, child's pose. So that is challenging, right? Let's come back to table. And if you're game, let's come back to plank. Now, try raising one arm and no leg. And notice it's almost more difficult because you don't have, back down to child's pose, we don't have the benefit of the leg to help support the core. When we raise the leg and we raise the arm, we actually have a more distributed effort between leg and arm and core muscles. Come back to hands and knees. Maybe you're going to stay on your hands and knees. Maybe you're going to come to plank. And this time, let's raise just one arm and no leg. And lower down. Bring the knees to the mat. Push back into child's pose. And back to hands and knees. Left foot between the hands. Right foot to meet it. Uttanasana. Forward fold. Inhale halfway up, long spine. Exhale, forward fold. Arms wide. Inhale, flat back all the way up. Hands overhead, and bring your hands to prayer. Hands alongside the body, Tadasana. In these videos, I always try to give you something a little new, a little different, because I guess variety is the spice of life. Or maybe we all want to grow our practice and we feel like maybe something else would expand us a bit. And I'm thinking about this strength in the core. And the core is the muscles along the spine, the muscles at the back, muscles in the side and front body. It's the whole works. And balance poses, I've had a challenge with balance poses for a while. And sometimes I think it has to do just with balance, which seems to decrease possibly as we age. But I'm thinking too about the core. I'm thinking let's come into tree pose, and we'll talk about and think about how what's necessary in the core to do tree pose. Of course, we're going to bring the sides of the legs in, always pulling in here. And the other thing that has helped me with tree pose is to remember to pull up, to lift up. So you're lifting up these lower muscles in and up under the belly button. You're lifting up through the rib cage. The rib cage is raised, but it's not jutted out. And all of that core strength is part of tree pose. So bend the right leg, externally rotate, find a focal point, and let's come into tree. In this pose, the glutes are helping us, but use the core to maintain your uprightness and come forward and down. It's hard for me to do that, but it's hard for me to talk about it and do it. Okay. Some days are better than others. But all days are good, and we are grateful. We are grateful for what we can do, and we have joy in what we can do. So let's bend the other knee. Externally rotate the leg. Bring the foot to kickstand or to the calf, or to the groin. Lift up. There's a lot to think about. Notice the role that the muscles in the body play, in this part of the body, have in maintaining the balance. Find a focal point. Bring your knee forward, hands to prayer, and lower down. Whoa. Yeah, we're doing okay, aren't we? We have gratitude and we have joy. Oh. Let's come to the top of the mat. Step the right leg back. Bring the toes of the front of the back foot, the right foot, toward the top right corner of the mat. Hands to hips. And level the hips. So you want your hips to be parallel to the top edge of the mat. Now tuck the tailbone under and lift the pubis. And that encourages me to make my stand wider. Notice what's happening when the tailbone is tucked and the pubis is raised. Notice what's happening in the core, in the belly. Now bend the knee. The tailbone is reaching for the earth. Bring arms overhead. Our hands are reaching for the sky. Our tailbone is reaching for the earth. The tailbone is tucked under, the core is engaged. And notice what's happening alongside the body when the arms are raised like this. We're getting a lot of support from the side body. Engage the belly. Send the tailbone down. Lift up. Internally rotate the arms. Maybe a back bend. Coming back. Hands to hips. Step the back foot forward. Good. Good. When we're intentional about our practice, when we focus on the various aspects of the asana, it helps us calm the mind because the body is very focused, and so the mind is focused along with it, so the mind can't be running all over. But it's also bringing us into the full asana. We don't push it, but we give it our full effort, and we allow the body to help us find the asana. Other side, top of the mat. Feet are parallel. Bring the hands to the hips. Step the left foot back. Left toe toward top left corner of the mat. Let's hands to hips, and let's swing those hips so that they are parallel to the top, the short front end of the mat. Now, if you're like me, you probably have your pelvis tucked back. Let's tuck the tailbone under, rock the pelvis forward, bring the pubis up. Okay, now engage the belly. Pull the lower belly in, pull it in and up. Pull in the side belly. Yeah, good. Now bend the front knee. Feel the tailbone reaching for Mother Earth. Bring the arms up. Now can we do all those things at the same time? Press into the feet. Lower the tailbone. Lengthen the spine through the crown of the head, through the fingertips. Now engage the full body. The core muscles in the front that we worked on before, but the side muscles, the back muscles, the shoulder muscles. We are fully engaged, and you can feel when this happens, lines of energy are emanating from the perineum, through the body, through the fingertips, down the legs, through the toes. We are alive. And bring the hands to the hips, step the back leg forward, and shake it out. So, the simple thing, Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. You did it in your first yoga class, you've done it a zillion times. Right? But every time is new. Because our body is who we are at this moment. Might be feeling a little different than who we were yesterday. So we don't attempt to recreate what we've done. We don't attempt to recreate what someone else has done. We live in this moment with this body and this posture. Right? Great. Come to the center of your mat. And separate your feet. The feet are parallel to the short edges of the mat. You can make them as long as you want. Now, when we fold forward, just try rocking forward a little bit. Notice, with your hands on your hips, notice the movement in the pelvis. Okay. Now, arms are bent, elbows are back. We're really going to bring the elbows back because we'll bring the elbows back. It helps us broaden across the chest. Now, tuck the tailbone under just for a minute. You bring the lower belly in and up. Bring the belly button in and up. Now we're going to, with that belly engaged, rock the pelvis forward. Roll it over, rolling over the hip joint, bringing the hands to blocks or to the mat or to the floor. If you walk the hands out just a tiny bit and you really widen the feet, you may find that you can get your head to the mat. Maybe to a block, maybe not. As my yoga teacher told me, it doesn't matter because it's the same benefit for each of us. And come upright. Walk the hands out in front, coming into a wide angle, downward facing dog. Walking back, walking the hands between the legs. Maybe getting the head closer to the mat, maybe not. It's okay. Come upright. And let's walk the hands over to the right. Embracing that ankle. Bringing the body toward the thigh. Let's walk to the other side. Keep breathing. Coming back to center. Now, this is going to be different to everybody. It's going to be different for different people, but that's the way it is with yoga. Our bodies are ours, and we embrace our bodies, and we rejoice in our bodies, and we are grateful for what they do. So let's just heel-toe the feet in a little bit, not too far, and bring the buttocks down, coming into a squat. You might use your elbows to press the legs out farther. Or you could, I'm going to come back up. I'm going to wrap my arms around my calves a little bit and come back down. Whoa. And coming upright, bringing the arms wide, flat back, all the way up, hands overhead, hands to the heart. coming to the top of the mat. Bringing your arms alongside the body. Eyes of the elbows are forward. Shoulders are up and back. And slide the shoulder blades down the back. Widen across the collarbone. Engage the belly. Lower the tailbone. Press into the four corners of the feet. Lift the arches, lift the kneecaps, engage the thighs. Tailbone's tucked under, pubis is raised. Chin is slightly tucked, neck is long. As we fully engage in mountain pose, here again we can feel the lines of energy coursing up through the body, through the arms, out the crown of the head. Energy is coursing from the perineum down the legs to the feet. This is not a static pose. This is a really active pose. And we're smiling. And relax. Good. Okay. Again, at the top of your mat. Bring your arms. I'm going to grab a block for this because I want to show you how to use a block coming into Utkatanasana, chair pose. You can take a block, place it between the thighs, or I think if it's a light book, maybe you could use a book, anything that's going to stabilize the legs so that they remain parallel with each other. Feet are parallel. Send the tailbone back. Sit down in your chair. Bring your arms overhead. Breathe. I have a nice rosemary plant here and it's giving me some beautiful aroma. And come up when you're ready. Bring your hands to your heart. Take a deep breath. Reset. Hips back, arms at the ears, bending the knees. Utkatanasana. The tailbone is actually headed toward the floor, and I'm really engaging my lower belly. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to prayer. Great. And remove the block. Keep it handy. We might need it. Finding our way to the mat. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Let's hang out here for a moment. It's feeling good on my lower back right now, maybe on yours. Several things you might do here. You might grab a hand to opposite elbow and swing or sway. You may wrap your hands, your arms around your calves, bringing the forward fold a little deeper. Try bending your knees, placing the chest, the body, on the thighs, and now straightening the legs to bring that fold even deeper. Inhale, halfway up, long back. Your hands could be on your shins or on your thighs, or they could be out in front. But the objective here is to get as much length between the tailbone and the crown of the head as you can. Exhale, forward fold. Bending the knees, coming in to a seated position. On your mat, soles of the feet are together, Baddha Konasana, cobbler's pose once again, pulling up through the spine, up through the crown of the head, and pressing down in the knees so that we're opening our legs and maintaining lots of length in the back body, but also in the front body. Think about pulling up in the front body and in the side body. And unwrap. Spread the legs. If sitting up straight on a mat is challenging for you, place a little blanket underneath the buttocks. Inhale, lengthen. We're going to broaden across the chest. We're going to lengthen from tailbone, from pubic bone through collarbone. Lengthen through the side body. Send the tailbone down, the crown of the head up. And let's walk forward. Keep that flat back. You can do that by having bent elbows. And by keeping length. Inhale for length. Exhale to fold. Inhale for length. Exhale to fold. And maybe you'll just come a micro centimeter, is there a micro centimeter? Ho-hos in a deeper fold. Walk your way back up. Honor your body. Listen to the body. It has its own intelligence and its own communication. And the only trick for us is to learn to listen. Because what my body is saying to me may be different than what your body is saying to you. Bring one leg into the groin. Position the body so it's facing the other leg. Send the toes back toward the body. And here again with bent elbows, we'll just walk forward. Inhale to lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Lengthen and fold. Taking hold of the calf or the shin, maybe the ankle, maybe the foot, maybe the toes, and fold over. Celebrate, be joyful, be grateful for whatever your body is in this asana. We have to be grateful. And walk it back. Let's extend the other leg, bringing the opposite leg to the groin. Sit up on the sits bones, pull the flesh from the sits bones. Face the foot. Send the toes of that extended leg toward the body. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen through the spine. Shoulders are back. Wide across the collarbone. Bend the elbows and begin to make your way to a forward fold over that leg. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold a little deeper. What is your body saying? Is it saying, okay, you've just gone too far, back out, and do it? That's yoga. That is yoga. Listening to the body, following the cues, being in the moment. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold a little more. Inhale, and maybe you're going to round over, grabbing hold of the calf or the ankle or the toes. Maybe you have a strap that is helping you fall forward. And breathe here. Wherever you are in this asana, it is a beautiful place to be. And we must be grateful. And walk back out. Great, folks. Good work. There's sweat drops on the floor here, so I guess that's a good sign. Coming into boat pose. Now that's another one that's just so, ever so good to build the strength in our bodies, to hold ourselves upright, and to have healthy digestive system. And it's also that core, that's health in the core. It's not a rigidity, it's a strength, but it's not a rigidity. That health in the core has a profound effect on our emotions as well. So we've done a lot already, but let's see how we can do. You may want to just bring the hands behind the thighs, lift the legs, and stay right here. And that's great. That's really great. Now, I've seen this done in such a way that the upper body is curved forward. Notice what that does to the core. It does seem to engage another part of the core. We're up on the sits bones. Maybe the arms are extended. Maybe the legs are. And maybe they're not. Hallelujah, right? And come down. Great. Find your way to your back. In Shivananda Yoga, we take many Shavasanas throughout, between one or two asanas and then a Shavasana. So I'm having a little mini Shavasana right now. The knees are bent. The feet are pretty close to the hips, just close enough so that the fingertips can touch them. You're going to tuck the shoulders blades under the back. Now notice that we're going to press into the feet, we're going to press into the shoulders, we're going to press into the upper arms, and lift up into bridge pose. Keeping the legs parallel. Inhale and come a little higher. Tuck the shoulders a little more. Distribute the weight between the feet and the shoulders and maybe the forearms. The back arms. Keep breathing. Be grateful. Notice energy flow. I feel energy flowing through my body, through my arms. I feel it down my legs, into my feet. And let's lower down. Bring the knees in. Lift lifting the head, making a little ball. Feet are on the mat. We're in a reclining pose. Our knees are bent, our feet are on the mat. Pick up the left leg and cross the left knee over the right. Bring the arms out to T or to cactus. Lift the foot off the mat. And let's fold the legs over to the left, to the right. And I have to remove this black box. Keep both shoulder blades on the mat. Look in the opposite direction. Keep breathing. Notice lines of energy here. I feel it in my shoulders, in my back, in my arms. I also feel it in my legs, in my hips, in my torso where I'm twisted. Come back to center, uncross the legs. Okay. Pick up the right leg, cross the right knee over the left. Lift the foot off the mat. Fold to the opposite side. Folding to the left. Keeping both shoulder blades on the mat. Looking out over the right arm, opposite direction of the knees. Keep breathing. And come back to neutral. I'm going to do a reclined pigeon pose. So lift the left foot off the mat, cross the left ankle over the right knee. Thread the arms around the right thigh. Clasping the hands behind the right thigh. Now I'm using my left elbow to push my left knee forward. I'm using my clasped hands and the strength of my arms to pull my right thigh toward me. Notice if there's an unpleasant sensation, kind of a little warning, come out. Take your time, come back in slowly. Keep breathing. And lower the right foot. Bring the left foot to the mat. Pick up the right leg, bring the right ankle to the left knee. Thread the hands around the left thigh. Use the right elbow to press the right knee away. Use the strength of the arms and the hands to pull the left leg toward the body. bring the soles of the feet to the mat. I don't need a block right now, so if you have a block or a book or pillow or bolster, let's place the block under the sacrum. Lift the hips, block under the sacrum. Lift the legs. Kind of an inversion. Arms up if you like that. So the legs and the arms are parallel to each other. We're changing the effort that it takes for the heart to send oxygenated blood throughout the body, especially toward the head. Keep breathing. Enjoy the sensation. We don't usually walk around the earth like this. So it feels good. My body's in a different place vis-a-vis the earth. And it feels refreshing. When you're ready, bring your feet to the mat, lift the hips, remove the block. Great. There may be another pose that your body is asking for right now. And if so, I encourage you to come into it before Shavasana. I'm going to come into a shoulder stand. So I'm lifting my legs, lifting my hips, planting my hands under my hip bones, and bringing my legs upright. You may want to go to legs up the wall. You may want to try a shoulder stand at the wall where the legs are supported. If it feels like your body would like to lower one leg and raise it, do it. Lower the other leg and raise it. Maybe your body is asking you to lower both. Maybe not. Plow pose, Phalakasana. Raise one leg, raise the other leg, bend the knees, bring the knees toward the chest, slowly roll out of this pose, finding your way to Shavasana. Relax your toes. Relax the feet. Relax the arch and the ankles. Send fresh oxygen to your calves. Let the shin bones just blend right into the calves, and the calves blend right into the earth. Relax the thighs. The glutes have nothing to do right now. Just relax. Hamstrings, glutes. Relax. Notice that the organs are moving toward the earth. Slowing down, slowing down. Tuck the shoulder blades under the back. Send fresh oxygen to your fingers, to the joints of your hands. Send gratitude and joy through the arms, through the elbows, the wrists, the hands, the fingers. Relax your face. Send the eyes deep in the sockets. Relax the jaw. Relax your tongue. Coming into stillness. Sublime stillness. Since this is a recorded lesson, you have a choice. You could stay here and close out of your yoga practice later. I will bring the soles of my feet to the mat, allowing myself to fall over into the right, to a fetal position. There is so much to be grateful for. But if our focus is on everything that's wrong, we miss it. So let's take a moment to drink in all of life's blessings, to feel gratitude and happiness for what our body was able to do with what all yogis who came before us have shared with us. And for those who practice all around the world, bringing peace and joy and gratitude to center stage. Using my elbow, coming up into a comfortable seated position. Cross the legs. Easy seat. After the next inhale, I will Om. Hands to prayer, thumbs at the sternum. The light that dwells within me honors and reflects the light that dwells within you and with all beings. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me. Share this recordings, these YouTube videos with anyone who might like to know about them. Write to me if you have any questions or comments. It's nice to know that I'm reaching some of you, but I know that we reach each other every day in ways that may be inexplicable. May all creatures everywhere know peace and happiness.